She went on her first blind date and happened to meet someone who had the exact same name as her first love, and the endless longing instantly overwhelmed her emotions. What kind of deep affection would make her burst into tears the moment she heard the name of the person she once loved? This romance film, in which Hyo-joo willingly agreed to play a supporting role, captures the tremble of youth and the essence of love with incredible precision. The story begins on a morning in 1999, when the girl Bo-ae squeezed onto a bus and accidentally fell into the arms of a boy because the driver suddenly hit the brakes.
Sorry!
When she saw the name on his school uniform, a hard-to-describe smile appeared on her face, and this boy happened to be Baek Hyun-jin, the one her best friend Yeon-do secretly liked. Before leaving the country, Yeon-do had asked Bo-ae to remember the name Baek Hyun-jin, hoping she could learn more about the boy's interests so she would have a better chance of winning his heart when she came back. Since the boy attended the same school as them, Bo-ae happily agreed to her friend's request. Coincidentally, on the first day of school, Bo-ae immediately ran into the target. For a long period after that, her eyes never left the boy, and just by glancing at his build, she could estimate that he was about 1.80 meters tall. When she picked up the empty cup he had thrown into the trash and smelled it, she guessed that he liked to drink orange juice. Even the sports he liked were carefully recorded in her notebook, but external observations were far from enough for her friend's expectations. So to get closer to him, Bo-ae secretly hid behind a curtain to overhear Baek Hyun-jin's conversation with his friends, and she successfully learned that he would soon be interviewing for the broadcasting club. To join the same club as him, Bo-ae went to the interview as well and won everyone's attention with her impressive taekwondo skills. But just when she thought her plan was about to succeed, Baek Hyun-jin suddenly gave up the test in public, saying he wanted to give the opportunity to someone more deserving. In the end, Bo-ae successfully joined the broadcasting club, while Baek Hyun-jin did not make it in. Fortunately, fate always opens another door, and Baek Hyun-jin's best friend Wuho joined the club, so Bo-ae tried to get close to him to gather information. But when she greeted him warmly, Wuho turned away without saying a word, leaving Bo-ae no choice but to shift her attention back to Baek Hyun-jin. One day, she accidentally noticed that Baek Hyun-jin was using a pager, and with her sharp eyes, she quickly memorized the number he typed in. But just as she was about to enter the last digit, Wuho suddenly blocked her hand. Left with no choice, Bo-ae tried the digits one by one in a phone booth, and finally, with her last coin, she successfully reached Baek Hyun-jin. But just as she was about to ask for his phone number, a puzzled voice came from the other end of the line. Realizing that her identity had been exposed, Bo-ae panicked and fled from the booth. The next day, Wunho's questioning arrived right on time.
That was you yesterday, right?
No.
You want Hyunjin's pager number?
Why would I want his pager number?
It was you then. Yes or no?
Even though Bo-ae tried hard to hide her embarrassment, her evasive eyes confirmed Wunho's suspicions. For fairness, Wuho demanded that she exchange the newly released movie disc for Baek Hyun-jin's number, and he knew Bo-ae's family ran a video rental store, although her father warned her not to rent movies to classmates. That night Bo-ae still took the disc secretly despite the risk of being punished. Unfortunately, the next day the homeroom teacher conducted a major inspection. The disc was discovered, and Bo-ae was punished by being made to kneel outside the classroom while listening to the lesson. What was supposed to be a misfortune turned ironic, as Wuho passed by with a mischievous grin and took the disc from her hand.
He messed with the wrong girl.
Luckily, he kept his promise afterward and brought Baek Hyun-jin to the place where she worked part-time.
Is there a membership discount?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Bo-ae successfully obtained Baek Hyun-jin's pager number, but at that moment, Bo-ae still had no idea that the look in Wunho's eyes was already filled with quiet affection. At the summer camp the next day, Bo-ae and Wunho worked together to assist with filming. As the distance between them shrank, Bo-ae's heartbeat unconsciously quickened, and although she was supposed to film Baek Hyun-jin, her camera would naturally drift toward Wunho. A gentle breeze brushed across the boy's youthful face, and the faint smile at the corner of his lips turned into Cupid's arrow, striking straight into Boare's heart. She quickly looked away, and the trembling inside her was likely the purest sign of young love. That day, Baek Hyunjin was surrounded by a few troublesome teens after school, and in the moment of danger, Boare, who had trained in Taekwondo for 2.5 years, stepped in and blocked one of the strikes. But since the other group outnumbered them, Wuho grabbed Boare and Baek Hyunjin's hands and pulled them away to escape. Seeing the flashing lights of the police car approaching, the troublesome teens scattered in fear. What surprised Boare was that even though she was holding two boys' hands, only Wunho's hand made her heart flutter.
Hey, are you insane?
Are you alright?
Because she stepped in to help, Boare injured her leg. Feeling guilty, the next day Baek Hyunjin picked her up on his motorcycle after school, but instead of taking her home, he stopped on a bridge to thank her.
So why'd you do it? You didn't want me to get hurt?
I was afraid they'd beat you up pretty badly. Was I just supposed to let that happen? Huh? You shouldn't be nice to just anyone. It's annoying for other people.
Perhaps moved by her courage and sincerity, his gaze toward her carried a hint of gentle warmth. That evening, they went to a small restaurant, and Wunho happened to be working there as a server.
I think you're great.
Seeing Baek Hyunjin confess his feelings to Boare, a faint sadness appeared in Wunho's eyes, but that sadness quickly faded, because Boare did not accept the confession and instead kept stuffing food into her mouth. She had promised to learn everything about Baek Hyunjin for her friend, but only on the basis of their friendship, and she would never betray Yeon-do. So she left in a hurry and even forgot her crutch. It was Wunho who kindly returned the crutch to her and gently massaged her ankle.
Had a crush on Hyunjin?
No, I don't. It's just I'm interested.
For a long time afterward, Baek Hyunjin continued to approach Boare to express his feelings, but each time, Boare responded with harsh words. That day, when Boare and her roommate were drinking and having fun, the boys living upstairs took advantage of the moment to steal their beer.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Encouraged by the effect of alcohol, Boare went upstairs to the boys' dormitory, but unexpectedly knocked on Wunho's door. The moment their eyes met, both of them froze on the spot. Suddenly, the voice of the discipline teacher echoed in the hallway, and in a moment of panic, Wunho had no choice but to pull the girl into his room to hide. From that day on, Boare often found herself staring at Wunho's face in a daze. Although the three of them had become the closest of friends, in Boare's heart, some people were suitable as friends, while someone else always stirred a flutter she could not suppress. In the past, she only cared about having fun, but now, Boare eagerly looked forward to going to school, and whenever she missed that charming figure, he would always appear in front of her faster than she expected. Standing in the pouring rain, Wunho told the girl, "Starting tomorrow, I'll be working part-time at the shop across from yours." Boare stopped in place, and for the first time, lost her usual tough attitude, because whenever she went to work, all she needed was a glance to see the boy who had quietly moved into her heart. To see him more often, Boare would even drag her tired younger brother to play badminton, taking the chance afterward to walk with Wunho under the night sky. Wunho brought the girl to a small garden where a plum tree was growing, and the crystal-clear fruit made Boare incredibly excited. She eagerly picked one, and as she turned around, she met the boy's bright and gentle smile. Wunho always recorded the moments they spent together, Boare's different expressions, and every instant that made his heart race. When emotions ran deep, the two of them unconsciously leaned toward each other. But at the crucial moment, a plum fell and hit the girl's head.
You okay?
Hey!
The two of them burst into carefree laughter. These fluttering moments made Boare fall even deeper. She remembered what her friend once said, "If you like someone, you won't be able to fall asleep." Now, she felt like she was finally experiencing that feeling, falling in love. She kept a smile on her face at all times and treasured every date she had with Wunho. But she didn't realize yet that all this sweetness would soon turn into nothing. That day, Boare's friend Yeon-do suddenly returned, and the moment they saw each other, they cried and hugged tightly. When Yeon-do saw her so-called dream boy, she instantly stopped crying. Unexpectedly, her arrival pushed the three of them into an awkward situation, because the boy who once made Hyundoo's heart flutter was not Baek Hyunjin, but Wuho. She said it was Baek Hyunjin only because Wuho happened to be wearing Baek Hyunjin's uniform at the time. Seeing her friend's eyes full of hope, a faint sadness flashed across Boare's eyes, and she began avoiding Wuho's gaze on purpose, thinking about her friend who had just returned from overseas surgery and barely survived. Boare's guilt grew heavier. That night, Boare sent Wuho an email inviting him to watch a movie, but when the boy rushed to the meeting place with excitement, he saw Hyundoo instead.
You must be surprised. Bora's busy today and she didn't have your phone number, so I'm here instead. Thanks for being so kind.
Baek Hyunjin used the moment to follow behind Boare, but the girl was already sinking into deep despair, torn between the boy she first liked and her longtime closest friend, between love and friendship. Boare ultimately chose to let go. That night, she asked Wuho to meet and lied that she had never had romantic feelings for him, claiming she had always treated him only as a close friend. Facing farewell, both of them held onto the last bit of dignity, but the love letter in Wuho's hand never had the chance to be given to her. In fact, long before they met in the club, Wuho had seen Boare. It happened at a bookstore, where Boare couldn't reach the book on the shelf, and Wuho took it down for her, because of how flustered and adorable she looked. Wuho became interested in that book, which later led him to ask her for information in exchange for the movie disc based on it. For a long time afterward, Wuho never truly smiled, until Boare appeared. Later, the two of them ended up in the same club, and every smile and every expression from the girl could stir the strings of Wuho's heart. So when he received the phone call from her, he immediately recognized Boare's voice, but in Wuho's eyes, she seemed to care more about his close friend Baek Hyunjin, and it wasn't until that brief moment of closeness in the corner that Wuho completely fell in love, and his world became chaotic. Because of this, he fell in love with photography and wanted to turn every moment of the girl into a memory, but unfortunately, he was about to study abroad in New Zealand. He originally hoped Boare would wait for him, but now it seemed that this affection could only disappear along with the love letter he never had the chance to give, vanishing completely into that rainy night. That night, after learning the truth, Hyundoo suddenly found Boare, and with red, tearful eyes, she asked her why she hadn't told her everything.
I know, it must have been so frustrating to leave and go have your surgery. I know you liked him and I know you were obsessed with getting his details. So how could I ever say something like that to you? It's because if you were in this situation. Even though I like Pungunho, I would give him up in a heartbeat. If it meant preserving our friendship, you're the person I care about the most. I know you always try to take care of me because I'm ill. It's not something I need from you. I need a friend, not a nurse.
Feelings cannot be forced, and compared to love, Hyundoo cared more about Boare's happiness. What made her upset was only the fact that Boare had kept it from her. After a night of emotional struggle, Hyundoo took the initiative to find Wuho and told him everything honestly.
You know, I really liked you. Bora likes you too. She told me about it. She lied about it, because she's such a good friend. And she told me she was an SES fan, although she actually likes Pinkul. She couldn't tell me because I'm a huge fan of SES. And Bora carried me all the way down the mountain on her back. She was only 12 years old. And I'm sure I was very heavy, but she pushed all the way. I'm sure she was tired.
But even after knowing the truth, the fact that Wuho was leaving for New Zealand could not be changed. Rather than letting Boare wait in pain, he thought it was better to act as if he knew nothing and quietly leave. Hyundoo couldn't bear to watch them miss each other, so in class that day, she pretended to be sick, and when Boare carried her on her back to the infirmary, she suddenly sat up and told her, Wuho is leaving for New Zealand soon. Are you really not going to say goodbye to him properly? Following the voice in her heart, Boare decided to fight for her love. She ran downstairs without hesitation, and Baek Hyunjin had already been waiting for her, because when a mutual love is born, everyone is willing to be a witness to something beautiful. With Baek Hyunjin's excellent driving skills, Boare quickly arrived at the station. and she found Wuho just before the last train left.
I'm sorry. When you said you were leaving for New Zealand, and I just acted like I was okay with it. I lied to you when I said I didn't like you.
To all passengers, please form down.
Wait for me just a little bit. I'll definitely come back for you.
The sound of the train whistle urged the boy to keep moving, and in the end, the two who loved each other could only turn their longing into tears that would accompany them through countless lonely nights. Fortunately, from afar, Wuho would occasionally send messages to Bo-ra, telling her about his daily life, and every time she saw these little things, her face would light up with the purest smile. They agreed to get into Seoul National University together, and when winter passed and spring returned and the pear blossoms bloomed, Bo-ra finally received her acceptance letter to the broadcasting department at Seoul National University. But just as she was about to share the news with him, Wuho suddenly disappeared without a trace. No matter how many times Bo-ra tried to reach his pager, all she heard was the automated response saying the call could not be connected. As time passed, Bo-ra slowly adapted to university life, but she still couldn't accept Wuho's sudden silence. She thought time could heal the wound of love. Until one day, when a friend introduced her to a new boy, she unexpectedly discovered that his name was also Wuho. In that instant, Bo-ra's smile froze, and moments later, she could no longer hold back her sobs.
I'm sorry. I didn't do anything.
After leaving the restaurant, Bo-ra went to a phone booth.
Not gonna wait! So have a great life, you little bastard!
Many years later, Bo-ra had grown into an adult. That day during her break, she unexpectedly discovered an anonymous invitation to a photography exhibition beside her, and recalling that Wuho once dreamed of holding his own exhibition, she went to the gallery with a faint hope of seeing the boy again. There, she really saw the same plum tree from the date she once shared with Wuho, and as a bright smile appeared on Bo-ra's face, countless plum blossoms floated through the air. The girl's eyes shimmered with disbelief and emotion, but she unintentionally noticed a note at the bottom right corner that said the artist passed away in 2001. Soon after, Bo-ra met Wuho's younger brother, and carrying deep sorrow, he told Bo-ra, "My brother has been gone for 15 years. After he passed away, I organized all the tapes he left behind, and I knew he must have hoped that a certain girl would see them, because in all his works, everywhere he looked was you." After returning home, Bo-ra silently opened the tape that had been untouched for so many years. She was amazed to discover that besides beautiful scenery and bits of daily life, Wuho had also filmed many moments of her, and some were scenes she didn't even remember. These tapes made those old memories vivid again, and Wuho truly loved Bo-ra's smile, as most of the footage captured the joy on her face. When the boy's face appeared again, Bo-ra could no longer hold back the longing in her heart and quietly began to cry.
Good morning. It's the 21st century. I got out of bed at 4 to show you this. It's 2 in the morning in Korea, so you're probably asleep. Hold on just a bit longer. I'll come see you soon. It'll be amazing. In the 21st century.
The memories between them were forever frozen in the 20th century, and the boy's life was forever sealed in that same century, but the gentle affection that connected them might linger in Bo-ra's life forever. The director never explicitly explained the cause of Wuho's death, and this absence was not laziness but an accurate grasp of the nature of youth, where the end of a first love often has nothing to do with a specific reason but everything to do with its sudden stop. There is a kind of love whose memory lasts longer than its existence, and it is not made of grand promises but of whispers that carry across an entire century. When a name is spoken again on an ordinary afternoon 17 years later, why can it instantly shatter all the calm a woman has tried to maintain? It is not just a name but a key that unlocks a chamber of youth buried beneath time and dust. We often believe time is the best cure, yet some loves seem enchanted, untouched by the passing years. They lie dormant in the depths of memory, silent most of the time, but in an unguarded moment, through a familiar sound, they can make an adult's carefully built world collapse completely. This is not a simple story about first love but an epic about remembering and missing. This film will make you believe that some people appear in your life only to leave an unforgettable mark. In the film, Hyun-doo's words, "I would rather give up on Wuho 1,000 times than abandon our friendship," are a tribute to the bonds between girls in the 1990s. The brilliance of this film lies in the fact that it does not stop at mourning a lost first love but instead elevates the story through performances that bridge generations, completing a tribute and transcendence to youth itself. When Bo-ra finally pressed the stop button on the tape recorder, what she truly said goodbye to was not Wuho but the version of herself who once charged forward fearlessly for love. Even as centuries change and loved ones are gone, the sincerity given without reservation will eventually become the stars that illuminate ordinary life.